All right, good morning. I'm Andy Smith. I'm the chair of the Coney County Conservation Bank Board here for the February 6, 2024 meeting, now called to order. We have 5 of our members present and 2 absent. We have a quorum. The first thing on the slate is the election of officers. These are one-year terms. Do we have any nominations for any of the officers? I have one nomination, and that's for Emmeline Jones as chair. I move that Emmeline Jones be elected chair. Do we have a second for that?
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Here's your chair.
You really turned it over to me now.
He's got it warm for you. I mean,
I should have brushed up on
Come on
my
in.
Robert's Rules of Order. Get to bring my blank. Do you want, now I do not have a screen. Do you want?
Andy, there's a screen down
Oh,
here.
okay. I'll
Yeah,
come over there.
because I do my iPad.
Thank you.
So thank you, Andy.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm excited. Big shoes to fill. We all have our different skills, backgrounds, but one thing I think we all share in common is a love of the land, a love of Oconee County, and I'm looking forward to learning. I've got a lot to learn, and our goal is just pretty simple, working with organizations and helping landowners protect their land financially. So I see us as one little spoke in the wheel of what's happening around Oconee County. But anyway, so do we need to move on then and elect, okay, the position of vice chair?
I'd move to elect Andy, and if we open it up for discussion, I'll explain why.
Okay, discuss.
I'll second that.
Okay, second.
Yeah, he's
Discussion.
familiar, and he can kind of be your right-hand man, so it seems to make sense.
Okay. And you're okay with that?
Yeah. Dang it.
All those in favor of electing Andy as vice chair, say aye.
Aye.
And secretary, any nominations for the position of secretary? Who's serving, is that role?
Ma'am.
I say we keep it the same. I'd nominate Ryan.
It's a tough job.
Yeah, you're doing
Are
a great
you-
job.
you're with- Okay.
It's stressful.
So, do we have a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor of Ryan serving another one-year term as secretary? Say aye.
Aye.
Treasurer right now is
It's me.
held by Taylor.
I nominate Taylor. Stay right there.
I second.
He hadn't quite learned the job. He's working hard at it.
He's getting there.
All those in favor of keeping Taylor as treasurer for another year? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, great. The next order of business is our meeting dates, which Jennifer sent out. Meeting on Tuesdays at 9. Does anyone have any issues with that, suggestions?
I like it. It tends to work good for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Jennifer, the reason why we go ahead and set them is they're published several
Yes.
places, is that right?
It will be published on our website and then in every backup for every meeting we have and
Okay.
in the local paper.
Okay,
And I'm going to communicate this to Riley West. He did ask when our meeting dates were. He wants to maybe try to come to the next one. I'm also going to let Max Stone and Chris Starker, people, that could have an interest in coming.
Mac was here for a meeting about a year ago. You may remember when we were dealing with the U.S. Forest land, but
I move we approve these.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
And our next order is approval of minutes. We have them from September 5th. Hopefully everyone's had a chance to look through them. Does anyone have any corrections, additions to the minutes? Do I have a motion that they be approved?
I make a motion to approve.
And is there a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And Taylor, if you want to sum up the 5 months of treasurer's report, we've got everything Jennifer sent.
Yes, and I'll just start with the Community First Bank account. It's gonna be the same for the period ending August 31st, 2023, September 30th, 2023, October 31st, 2023, November 30th, 2023, and then December 31st, 2023, $480.
Okay.
And then we'll move over to the local government investment pool. For the period ending August 31st, 2023, we had an opening balance of $367,000, $371.46. Reinvestments total $1,744. The balance in account as of period ending date was $369,115.46. For the period ending September 30th of 2023, opening balance was $369,115.46. Reinvestments totaled $1,700.59. We had an ending balance of $370,816.05. It's a lot of numbers to read. For the period ending October 31st of 2023, we had an opening balance of $370,816.05. Reinvestments totaled $1,775.79. And the ending balance was $372,591.84. For the period ending November 30th of 2023, we had an opening balance of $372,591.84. Reinvestments totaled $1,739.39. The ending balance was $374,331.23. And then finally, for the period ending December 31st, 2023, we had the opening balance of $374,331.23. Reinvestments were $1,804.42. Ending balance was $376,135.65.
I move we approve the treasurer's report for that period.
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So I don't remember whose idea it was to move a chunk of that fund over to that account, but that sure has paid off when you look at those numbers
Yeah.
over the period of 5 or 6 months.
It doesn't seem like a lot of money, but that is a lot of
It's-
money.
yeah.
You start adding it up every month.
So thank you for that, Taylor.
Yep.
And our fundraising public relations report, do y'all want to give a little update?
Where are we on, who was gonna investigate into the Duke Energy Bag Creek relicensing where we were gonna attempt to kind of get in, similar to the original funding we got?
Right.
I was thinking about that yesterday and
I thought I copied you on the emails, maybe not. If I didn't, I apologize. So Upstate Forever is very interested in helping us be a stakeholder. There are two issues. Bad Creek is being relicensed, and they also are trying to get approval for a second, it's not a pump, I guess it is a pump storage station. There are a lot of people that are wanting some funds in, along this process. And there are some big hitters that are advocating for us, but it's probably a 2 to 3 year process
Okay.
to get there, to actually get the funding. I think the licensing is 2026 maybe, is when it actually is coming up. So, in the meantime, there are some possibilities of us maybe doing some other fundraising things like we talked about. How does that work, Jennifer? If we were to hold a fundraiser, obviously we would have to consult the attorney, but could we all get together in some capacity and it not be a quorum? Do you know the answer to that?
I think it's gonna be a quorum if it's 4 or more.
Okay. So, just keeping that in the back of your minds. I think right now we're okay with money. I would like to see, before we really go out and fundraise, is to get some other profile grants under our belt and some closings and really be able to spread the word of what we're doing. So maybe looking at something 2025. If y'all have any ideas, keep that in mind.
Okay.
As far as PR goes, Jennifer's got us name tags, which she's gonna work on. And I would just encourage you to wear them if you're going to be in any kind of official, the Oconee Bell Fest, or Taylor, when you're going to the, Friends of the Chattooga, or any of Friends of Lake Kiowee. And we're not promoting ourselves, but it can raise, what is that? And just spreading the word of who we are.
Well, in line with that, we spoke a little bit about this yesterday. To update everybody, the three of us got together with Raleigh West and cousins of mine on they are investigating putting several hundred acres into a conservation easement on the south end of Highway 11, kind of in the Fairplay area, real close to where Scotty's at. And it was both Raleigh and myself brought up the topic of this sewer line expansion is like a really hot button topic now. The farmers down there are real concerned that it's going to change the whole dynamic of that part of the county to where you can't afford to farm. I mean, you already can't afford to farm really, but like so many of the farmers that rely on other means than just one pasture here, one field there. I mean, they lease a lot of land. And the people that lease that land are going to be offered way more than they can afford to keep it and lease it. And I think that with that, we have an opportunity to kind of spread the word about the importance of conservation easements and how it can work in this situation where we try to get ahead of it. I mean, we're not going to keep everything from happening down there, but when the sewer comes in from a real estate standpoint, the density will go through the roof on these developments. I mean, just go around where there is sewer and look at how they develop them. It's going to really change that part of the county. And I think that due to that concern and that need, we can fill a pretty big gap in that fear factor. In fact, Raleigh brought up a name of someone who's Tim Donald that's involved with Farm Bureau. And Farm Bureau has, as of last year, they're still getting accredited, but they have a 501c3 land trust where they have really good relationships with these farmers, and they've hired their director from Upstate Forever who has a lot of experience. And his name's Richard Carr. Is that right? Mm-hmm. And I think it's going to be a really win-win scenario because the farming community and the longtime landowners are pretty apprehensive of a lot of the out-of-town people that come in and try to talk with them, but they're rolling up in a Prius and it's a little hard. I mean, there's a outsider mentality. So the relationships that Farm Bureau has with their board being like local farmers, like my, cousin that we met with, it just really helps grease the wheels and make the stuff happen. So I think that going forward, we probably will be working with this Farm Bureau Land Trust because I was totally unaware of it. I just started hearing about it in December from another farmer that they were, doing it.
Do you know how that 501c is being funded? Is it from the Farm Bureau or?
He said they were funding like staff and keep the lights on, but they were not gonna have money for projects. They were gonna rely on those in the,
So, yeah, right.
I mean, they're gonna be relying
They
on.
would, for us, become an eligible recipient.
Yep.
They would go to the
Yes.
South Carolina Conservation Bank and to us, or whoever else, wherever they're working, to get grants to help put conservation easements on farms.
They're trying to fill the gap of what the districts really can't do.
Right.
You know, I mean, just, there's a level of expertise that, you know, and Oconee pretty lucky. We've had a pretty good, district, you know, where there's some stuff getting done, but other areas are just, you know, it's above their head. And so I think this can kind of fill that, that hole.
Well, you know, the whole sewer issue down there is such a hot topic issue right now, and so, you know, physically and temporarily impacting what's going down there, I think it's a really good time to try to bring awareness to that and to really try to promote conservation easements among farms there. And, you know, if your cousins go through with it, that would be a good leadership role in doing it, and also just education.
Education, but I do think this is gonna be a positive connection, and as you said, the more landowners do it, the less apprehension and fear and misunderstanding there is.
Well, see,
about
Farm
it.
Bureau has regular scheduled meetings. They have, they vote for people to
In
be.
each county?
No, well,
Is that
South Carolina
area?
Farm Bureau,
Okay,
and then they have, yes,
The local-
Oconee County
okay.
Farm Bureau, Pickens County Farm Bureau, they each have an office, they have agents, but like, the board, the way I understand it is the board for like Oconee County, I mean, John Harris, Lee Keys, I mean, there's several, I think, you know, other pretty large landowners that make an income off of their agriculture use. So
and it sounds like they're an active group.
they are.
they are
So
very-
my problem was with the Cattlemen's Association, there's not a real regular meeting, and it's just a different deal. You know, I mean, they're not, I think Farm Bureau's gonna really be a huge help.
Is Tim Donald the primary contact at the Farm Bureau?
No, I don't think so. He just reached out, from my understanding, he reached out to Raleigh with some real concern and, you know, is concerned about this whole topic. I think he's been quoted in the paper too, but I just know, I've seen him involved with Farm Bureau stuff, so. But
And
he's a
the-
farmer. I mean,
Is he, does he work for the Farm Bureau? He's
No.
a farmer that's aware of it.
Yep.
Who is a contact at the Farm Bureau, do you know?
Lee Keys?
Okay,
I could find out.
good.
Yeah, I can find that out. Like who would be sort of the current chair, or however their structure works.
So
Okay.
Richard reached out to Jennifer about possible funding. She sent him to the website. He's the one that's going to be the land trust person. So I don't know if we would ever cross paths with him. Would it be appropriate if we said we're excited about?
Why don't I reach out to him, and invite him to see if he'd come to our next meeting, and hey, let's,
See what we
Yeah,
can do.
give a little presentation on
I
who we
think
are and
that's
what we're
a
doing.
great idea.
Yep, that
And hear
is.
from him what
I have
his,
his contact information.
okay. Well,
Okay.
do you know him?
I've met him. I
Okay.
met him at, Raleigh West's father, Dr. West, the landowner, kind of meet and greet. He had it up at his farm. He was up there. And, he gave us a small presentation, but I don't remember it being on Farm Bureau. I remember it being for Upstate Forever. I mean, I think he was
he's
still
doing
with
the
it. He was
same
still,
thing.
you know, yeah.
I think that's, and will you let us know when he is coming?
Yeah.
Or if he can come?
Yeah.
I mean, you want to invite him to the next meeting, March 12th?
Yeah, and I think Raleigh wants to try to come. It'd be good to have both of them,
It
because he
would
could
be
explain how.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's do that. Let's get them as soon as we can.
And you'll handle both those
Yeah.
invitations? Okay. I see that as a real positive. The other thing I wanted to say about public relations is, I don't know if you have heard about a group called the South Carolina Seven. Tom Mulliken, he usually in July starts up whitewater rafting on the Chattooga, and then at the end of July ends up down in the Ace Basin. He, from what I understand, is not doing the hikes in July. He's moved it to April. So I've done one thing a couple years ago, the hike to Sassafras, but when I do get the schedule, I can send it to you and send it, and if you could go, any of the outdoor activities, the table rock, the water quality meetings, any of those are kind of your, up your alley, I would just encourage you to go. And it's a very well-connected group politically. DNR folks come, Foothills Trail people come.
Gotta get those name tags.
But I'm not sure I'm gonna wear my name tag on a hike, but I might figure.
Come on now.
Maybe I'll carry my cup. I'm gonna carry my Oconee County cup and bag.
So I met him at a get-together thing at Judge John Few's house on the Chaga. And Mulligan,
Tom Mulliken.
he is an extremely well-connected individual in the state of South Carolina. Yeah, he has access to some high strength. He's a really good person to network with.
And he's very interested, even though he's Columbia-based, he's very interested in this.
Oh, yeah,
In Oconee County.
very much.
So just keep that in mind. Anything else on?
Do you know the date for that?
I don't. Usually it is July 1st all month. But I saw somewhere on a little blurb that he's moving it to April, which works better for a lot of people, and it's not so hot. But when I get that, I'll send that out.
Good.
Because they probably have 4 events in our county.
Well,
Yep.
Well, Sassafras is Pickens, but they'll start primarily in Oconee County. Anything else in fundraising, PR to add?
So I think I mentioned it last year, but the Conservancy, the Chattooga Conservancy is likely gonna have another fundraiser up at the Bell Farm. And I don't know if we wanna think about ways about maybe piggybacking off that for some network, for broadcasting of what we do. But maybe if we had a tent or something like that, handing out brochures, things of that nature. Just wanted to throw that out there.
I think that's a great idea.
When is that?
It's usually in June.
Okay.
So, but I don't think there's a date set yet, but they do it every summer in June. And maybe if we have our name tags by then, we can.
Yeah, once again.
Okay, enough about the name tags. Grant status. Do we have any reports on that?
I don't have.
Okay. Anything, new business discussion to add? Did you say you were going to be here in March? For that March meeting?
the 12th?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it's pertinent to know, I think I'm going off this year. This will be my last year.
Okay.
I think that's true for
Same.
Ryan as well. And so I know that I will, and I'm sure Ryan will be thinking about people to recommend as well. And if anybody has any ideas for our, mine's be for you.
Does it have
Are you an
to,
at-large
does it
or
ha-
just-
no, I'm in our district, but does it have to be nominated by our representative? It does, doesn't it? Okay.
So that'll be the path, is we come up with the idea, or
Might
I
need to
come up
meet
with the
our
idea
representative.
and tell our reps about it.
And there's a formal application that's filled
That's
out.
right.
It's
Yeah.
pretty basic.
Yeah.
I think that's great to be thinking ahead.
Her name is Emily Pomeroy. She lives in Westminster. I'm not sure if that position will be available if either of you are off, but she has expressed interest in getting involved. She used to work for the Chattooga Conservancy as well, so.
Okay. Well, there's no limit, as I understand it, to the number of at-large positions.
Oh, okay,
So it may be something if she wanted to go ahead and apply.
okay.
Is that correct? Or,
I think there's only one or two at-large positions.
Yeah, there's two.
Is there two? Okay, well,
Yeah,
right
there's two.
now, they're filled. I'm at large. and-
Scott is.
I'm in the Seneca district. I think it's District.
Okay, so I may be wrong about that.
I'm District 3.
What district would that be?
What is Westminster?
Westminster,
It's either gonna be 4 or 5, depending on her address.
Okay.
I'm District 2, Mountain Rest into Walhalla.
Okay,
And you're Seneca, right?
Yeah, I'm 3.
anything else before we adjourn? Do we need to vote to adjourn, or do I just declare it adjourned?
Move.
Just move,
I move we adjourn.
okay? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.